So I was an active drug addict for 17 years. I was a hard drug user, and the last 5 years have been crazy for me. It's been a really big journey, right? Like I quit doing drugs, I quit drinking, I quit smoking cigarettes, and I lost 100 pounds, and now all I have to do is I started running, and now all I have to do is become vegan, and I'll be the most annoying person you've ever met. So close. Okay, I actually just ran my first marathon not long ago, so that's great. Thank you. Yeah, my toenail fell off. So, if you're thinking about running a marathon, fucking don't. But I didn't just start running marathons. I had to start from the beginning. Because when I got sober, I was really sick. I was in a really bad shape. I smoked 2 packs of cigarettes a day. I did cocaine every day. I drank every day. I had terrible, terrible asthma. I was in really rough shape. I was fun as hell, but I was sick. Right? And I had to go see a doctor when I got sober, because you don't go see a doctor when you're doing drugs, right? Because doctors say loser ass shit, like you gotta stop doing drugs, right? I'm like, I can't stop doing drugs. There's so much drugs left. Don't you know how drugs work, right? I had to go see a doctor, and when I did, my doctor, she was like, you have an enlarged heart, right? And I was like, doctor, I know that I'm super nice. I'm just trying to figure out why I can't breathe when I eat chips, right? She was like, you have to do cardio, and I was like, you have to say a different fucking thing than that. She's like, you gotta do cardio. And I was like, okay, I'll start running. I guess I want to live, whatever. So at the time, I was living with my parents because my parents let me move back in with them when I was 36 and got sober because I stopped stealing from them. They were like, get in here, you rascal. And so I'm living with them, right? And on this day, I'm going to go for my first ever run. And my parents live on a cul-de-sac. So it's like a cul-de-sac goes out like this, and then it's 1 block around their house, and it's 1 kilometer around their house, which is like, it's 3 steps. So in your world or whatever. So it's like half a mile. So on this day, I'm going to go for my first run ever in my life, right? So I put on my running gear, which at the time was a pair of DC skate shoes, okay, some board shorts, and then Miami Heat Dwayne Wade jersey. I looked like the governor of Florida. So, yeah. So I go to go on this run. I come up the stairs, and my dad, who you just met, is walking across the stairs this way, and he stops in his tracks, and he goes, "Where are you going?" And I said, "I'm going for a run." And then he looked me up and down, and he went, "Okay." And then he pulled out his phone, and he said, "I'll get 911 ready." I'm like, fuck! And my mom was like, "You can do it!" And I'm like, hell yeah, because my mom is awesome, okay? My mom is the most adorable 5'2" tiny felt mouse that you put on a Christmas tree. She's the cutest. My mom, and she's cool too. My mom is 72 years old and she has a podcast. Yeah, it's great too. If you want to listen to it, you just have to have the password to my voicemail. It's called Guess Who Died. It was almost me so many times. Okay, so I go on this run, right? I'm out there, I get about halfway around the block, I'm like, holy shit, I'm doing it, right? But then I have an asthma attack. Yeah, the crowd, you guys are like a TV studio audience, that's fun. So then, I have an asthma attack, and I don't know if you've ever had an asthma attack before, but it's like trying to breathe into a shallow plastic bag, okay? But not in a way where you're trying to come. It's bad, right? So it's not like your wife's out of town and you're trying to get into something you found on Reddit, you know what I mean? It's like, it's bad. So I pull out my asthma inhaler, right, which I also need when I come. And I go to use it, right, but it's empty, and I'm like, oh my fucking God, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. I was an active drug addict for almost 2 decades, and this is how I'm gonna go? I thought I would get sober and die doing something I love, you know, like trying to pet a dog and eat a Blizzard while I'm driving. So I call my mom, I'm like, you gotta help me, I'm dying, please come get me. So my mom comes and picks me up, right? And she drives me home, which takes like 2 seconds. And then I come through the door and my dad's standing there waiting for me and he on the phone and he goes, good thing I had 911 ready, hey? So I go upstairs, I sit on the couch, I'm trying to like be cool, I'm trying to like stay calm because that's what you gotta do when you're having an asthma attack, right, to stay calm. And I look over and my mom is doing the most power move mom thing I've ever seen, okay? My mom is tidying up. And I'm like, what are you doing? And she says, your father's on the phone with 911. I wasn't expecting company. Holy shit, that's a real thing that happened. Okay, and then, so the fire department shows up first, right? The fire department shows up first, and they put Ventolin on me, and if you've ever had to use Ventolin, it sorts you out like right away. You breathe it in, it's a minute later, it's like nothing happened, right? So now I can just sort of sit and survey the damage, right? So it's me in my childhood home, having an asthma attack, and then my mom holding a plate of cookies, my dad, and then 8 firemen, 2 of which I went to high school with. Okay? And my dad, now that he sees everything is okay, he sidles up to one of the firemen I went to high school with and he goes, hey, went for a run. Great, cool. So then the ambulance shows up, and here I thought I'd hit rock bottom several months earlier. So the ambulance shows up, and they're like, he's got to come with us. And I'm like, I'm fine. I don't need to go anywhere. I feel fine. And they're like, he has to come. That is protocol. And I'm like, I can't. So I'm like, fine, I'll go. So I go to walk with them, and they're like, you actually can't walk with us. You have to get on the stretcher. They brought the gurney in the house. They're like, you have to get on the stretcher. And I'm like, there's nothing wrong with me. I felt like a soccer player. So, right. So they put me on the stretcher and they wheel me outside, right? And like I said, my parents live on a cul-de-sac. So now the cul-de-sac has become more of an amphitheater. Right. For the neighbors to watch. And they're pulling me out and they're pushing me down the driveway in the stretcher. And I give them the hockey player thumbs up. Right? And then my dad comes out onto the porch to survey his kingdom. And he looks at all the neighbors and he shouts out, went for a run! Thanks a lot. This has been really fun. We're going to love your headliner. I've been Dan Duval. See you later.